What's going on, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my Boston Bruins franchise mode series here on NHL 17. And of course, as always, given as it is one of my series, we have some moves to make. I told you in the last episode that I wasn't too happy with just getting the very easy free agent signings that just make our team a fucking super team or guaranteed to be a super team within a few seasons. I also said, though, that we were going to make teams pay the stupid tax and that we would just, take draft picks in order to give them back their players. We're not even going to do that. We're going to be kind, and I don't want to overload our team with draft picks is the reason why. So instead, we're going to pick up players that we can actually use this season, mainly for the Providence Bruins, and in the process, we will give teams back the prospects that, let's be honest, they're programmed to not realize how fucking stupid they're being by giving up these prospects. So, for example, here, Meloche, I believe, he's going back to Colorado where he belongs, and we get a couple of AHL guys for this season. A nice little trade. Now, there's going to be another trade here, Colin White back to Ottawa. I would love to keep Colin White. He's going to be a great player for the Sens in the future. I wish this menu would fucking cooperate with me. I wish the Bruins drafted him in real life. They didn't get the opportunity, or at least they didn't take the opportunity. But anyway, we aren't getting any players from the Sens, so we need to take picks, or as I should say, pick. We're going to be very nice, and we're only going to take a 5th-round pick from the Sens. Look at that trade value. That's a fair trade, isn't it? You are lucky we're kind. You fucking assholes. Like I said, like having Colin White, having all of these great players, it would make the series less interesting. As it is, we just won the cup with a team that probably shouldn't have won the cup. So we don't need to make it any easier on ourselves by getting these decent prospects that, I'm not saying it's completely unrealistic. There are certain prospects that hit the market when you think that they wouldn't. For example, Matt Benning, who, didn't sign with the Bruins and went to the Edmonton Oilers. Or, of course, as we all know, Jimmy Vesey, who didn't sign. So it's not completely uncommon that, a prospect wouldn't sign with the team that drafted them and would go to free agency. But for us to get this many that are this good, that's a little bit unfair. So we are going to rectify the situation. We're going to keep trading these players back to where they need to go. Just give me 1 second, because talking and doing this at the same time, I am bound to make a mistake, and I do not want to do that. I want these players, of course, to be on the proper team. The only person we can't help is Brock Boeser. So we'll just consider him a Jimmy Vesey type, and the Vancouver Canucks missed out, which, granted, if I'm Brock Boeser, I might not want to sign with the Vancouver Canucks either. I'm sorry, Canucks. It's a joke. It's a joke. Yes, I know Thatcher Demko. He's going to be great. It's a joke. Okay, we good? Cool. Anyway, we will actually have one trade in here that will be a real trade, surprisingly. We'll actually save that for last. There is one player here that is just not going to make our team, so we might as well just be kind and get rid of him while also getting a player back for the wannabes. But we need Spalling and Jensen, and in return, back to the San Jose Sharks goes Balkers, I'm not sure. I don't need to know how to pronounce his name anyway, because he is not on our team. I did not mean to back out of the trading section. Shit. Next up is actually the... you know what? We can wait. Let's do this second to last trade first, where we are sending Vinio back to the Columbus Blue Jackets for John Ramage, or Ramage. I'm going to say Ramage. I know his dad or uncle. I think it was his dad played in the NHL. I don't know how to pronounce his name either. Didn't know how to pronounce it then. Not that I'm that old to have watched him play it. I just have his hockey card. Yeah, what am I saying? I've never known how to pronounce that name, and that's fine. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of names, as we have discovered throughout the course of these series here on YouTube. It's fine. Our last trade, though, is that trade that I was mentioning, as long as I didn't forget anything, which I don't think that I did. And this is going to be a fairly one-sided trade, but we want Peter Granberg. We also want a third-round pick next year, and we'll tack on a fifth. So, what are we giving up for that? Well, we are first of all sending back one of their prospects. That would be defenseman Alex Carrier. And we're also, the player we're giving up is going to be Riley Nash, who I'm going to give him a chance to actually go to Nashville. Originally, it was going to be Nash, Granberg, and a third. And of course, Carrier in the fifth-round pick is just tacked on. But yeah, Riley Nash is off to the Preds. And that does it for these trades. So let me get you a look at what this team will be. And I am excited for what this team will be because I think we have a pretty decent shot of being a good team. Although, there's one trade that I forgot and that I haven't done yet. But we will get to that in a moment because I actually don't have that trade planned out ahead of time. It's just something I realized that we should probably do and would be better for the team. Granted, it could wait, but I don't see the reason to wait. We'll get the AHL lineup set up in a minute. But the NHL lineup, we are going to be going with Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak. And it's a shame they lost some morale. You can see a couple of players, Zarnik as well, that have lost a point because of the trades, but it is what it is. Vetrano, we're going to have Danton Heinen and Zarnik on the third pairing and the third line. Bolesky, Achari, and Schaller will be the fourth line. I'm actually going to put Matt Bolesky on the right-hand side. Defensively, now the Cam Fowler trade, you could argue, should it have been made, should it have not? My plan, though, here is to probably trade Colin Miller. I'm thinking that's the right choice. We trade Colin Miller, and then we have a left-handed defenseman on the right side, but that left-handed defenseman will be Matt Grzelcyk, who aside from a somewhat scary defensive category where he doesn't really block shots and a physical category that just is non-existent, he could be a monster, especially if we have him on that right side where he can just load up slap shots all the time. So that's my plan, I think, is to trade Colin Miller. I'm not sure. I'm tempted to give Colin Miller the first month of the season to see what he can do. And I think I might do that, actually. I think I might do that. We'll see what Colin Miller can do in the first month. And let's get Carlo back over on the right side. But for lineups, we are going to go with Krug, Trouba, Morrow, Carlo, Fowler with Colin Miller. And I'll actually send back down Matt Grzelcyk here in a moment. Actually, you know what? I'll do it. We'll do it right now. I don't know if I want to sim the first month here live or not, because I know we have at least 2 back-to-backs, and that could be time-consuming. But let's send down Matt Grzelcyk for now, but there is a strong chance that he will be on the main roster. Colin Miller has to tear shit up in the first half of this season. But for now, let's get this lineup set. We need Jensen in there. Let's get Jensen over here. He'll be on the fourth line. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm already doing this live, so whatever. Let's just keep it going. We'll have Spalling actually on the fourth line, and the right-hand side, we need... Oh, who do we need? Am I forgetting somebody here? We got Bleed, Vogelhuber, Petrick, Senishin. I think, oh, no, I am forgetting somebody, but we're going to have to go out and trade for him anyway because plans changed. But that is okay. Those will be the AHL lineups for the moment. I shouldn't have done this live because this is time-consuming, but it is what it is, and I know certain people don't care that this video might be longer than you could argue that it should be. And yeah, see, that's the problem right now. Lauzon's not in the lineup. You know what? I'm not even going to give Colin Miller the first month. Give me a minute. Let's find a trade. Colin Miller's on his way out. And guys, we have found our trade. Funnily enough, it will be with the Anaheim Ducks. I want Brian Ferland back. I don't know why. I just want him down in Providence. So we are going to send Colin Miller to Anaheim for Brian Ferland and 2 fourth-round picks, which I believe these are the two of the fourth-round picks we tacked on in the trade in the last episode. But anyway, another bit of business with Anaheim. Colin Miller is off to the pond. That makes room for Matt Grzelcyk on the main roster. Now, unfortunately, some people aren't going to be happy with the fact that we traded Colin Miller, but screw those people. I don't see why Colin Miller still deserves a spot. He wasn't even playing in the playoffs last year. He wasn't even playing in the playoffs. We had Nate Prosser ahead of him. But let's get this lineup set. And of course, we want Grzelcyk over here, and he will play with Cam Fowler. We'll have Morrow and Carlo still as a pairing. And down in the AHL, we need to get Jeremy Lauzon into this lineup. We have Corbett and Ramage. Just awful. Anyway, Zaboral and Lauzon are now in the lineup. Of course, we have Linus Arnson, Nate Prosser, Granberg, and Martin Weinhold, not Matthias Weinhold. And what are we missing? We're missing extras. All right, you know what? Fuck it. I will get this lineup set in a minute because I'm just going to go best lines. You guys kind of get the general idea of what the lineup will be. But because this episode has gone on for a decent amount of time as we have gotten the lineup set, like I said, you got the general idea of what it is. We are going to sim the first month of the season and see what these changes will do for us. Of course, Cam Fowler and Matt Grzelcyk now on the roster. Quite a few changes. No Zdeno Chara, but we still have Tuukka Rask, and that could be the key. Let's sim to November 1st and see how we do. Remember, though, we were poor, very poor in the start of last season, and we won the Cup. So who knows? Who knows how to read whatever happens here? I'm rambling. Let's see what happens. Now, guys, quickly cutting back here. We're in the middle of the sim. We're actually 2-2. You can probably see it on the right-hand side of the screen. We got a waiver offer for Frederick Claesson from the Ottawa Senators, who doesn't look like too bad of a player. He's at least someone we might be able to flip as we approach the trade deadline. So we will pick him up. We're not going to put him into the lineup immediately. Actually, no, you know what? Maybe we'll put him in for Petter Granberg, because I don't want to take Zaboral and Lauzon out of the lineup, and we actually might have to do some lineup changes here. Anyway, we lost Brad Marchand in the first game of the year, and he is actually still not fully healthy, so Brian Ferland will stay in the lineup. Martin Weinhold, who we, of course, drafted this year. Do we take him out of the lineup? Yeah, you know what? I think we'll take him out of the lineup, and we'll look to trade Claesson at some point later on this year. But let's see here. We need to get him into the top 4, so we'll actually roll with Lauzon and Zaboral on the same pairing, and Lauzon has the better shot, so we will go with that, and we might as well stay live here. We're already here, so why the hell not? We play Toronto and Montreal next, which sounds like a whole boatload of fun. Can we beat the Leafs, who are 2-2-1 to start the year? And we do. We beat them 5-2. Will Marchand be fully healthy for the Montreal game is the question, and indeed he is. So let's go back and edit the lineup some more. It's my favorite thing to do and not time-consuming at all. I should have gone to roster moves, not edit line, but oh well. Brian Ferland actually got some ice time, which is good for him. Again, not sure why I wanted him back from the Ducks. We did need a right-handed shot for Providence, so I guess it just kind of worked out. But hopefully we don't lose him on waivers. I can't imagine that we will, and we didn't. Okay. I had a feeling we wouldn't, although with him having the fourth line player role, I thought there might be a chance. We will get those lineups set back up the way we want them to. Actually, how has this pairing been doing? Not tremendously. So let's We'll keep it the same. It took me a second to think there. We'll keep it the same and see. I mean, we're only a handful of games into the season. I can't imagine they won't be able to turn it around at some point. But these are the AHL lineups that I have finally completed. I'll be intrigued to see what Jake DeBrusk can do. We actually switched him back to a sniper because he has a hell of a wrist shot on him. Although in real life he's looking more like a two-way forward. But we'll put him back as a sniper and see what his progression will be this year. But here we go. We have a matchup against Montreal very early on in the year. They will be looking for revenge from the prior postseason. We'll actually give Rask the next two starts. Khudobin will play at MSG. Can we beat Montreal? And we cannot. We lose 3-2 on home ice. Well, at least that's realistic. The Bruins lose to Montreal on home ice. So EA, you got that part down. But Khudobin will get his second start of the year here. Nobody has really run away with the division so far. We are only 7 games into it. But oftentimes you'll see a team that's 7-0 or something like that. And we have yet to see that. I'm a little bit concerned, though, that certain players haven't bounced back. Like Pasta's still only at an 89. I'd really like him to get back to a 90. But Anton Khudobin against the 5-2 and 1 New York Rangers. He beat the Nashville Predators 3-1 in his first start of the year, and he loses 4-2. To the Rags. So that is not ideal. We are 4-4 to start the year, but on the bright side, that is a hell of a lot better to start the year than we had last year, but we did, of course, win the Cup last year. So a slow start to the season doesn't mean everything. Ask the Pittsburgh Penguins of last year. Let's get the last game of this month done in the last game of this episode against the LA Kings on home ice. Can we finish the opening month of October with a winning record? We cannot. We lose 3-0, and that is the first month of the season done, and that is pretty much this episode done. A couple of interesting moves. Of course, like I said, I told you guys in the last episode we were going to trade those prospects back to where they belong, but of course we also traded Riley Nash and Colin Miller. But a 4-5 record through our first 9 games. It could have been worse. We have seen that it could have been worse. And there you have it, the best team in the NHL right now, 8-1. So occasionally you will see those type of starts. But the Atlantic Division off to a pretty slow start. We have all the time in the world to get right back on the right track. But so far, Backus and Vetrano leading the way with 6 points in 9 games. Grzelcyk with 5 points in 9 games, probably more points than Colin Miller would have put up all season. So I am pretty happy with that, although I would like Austin Czarnik to have more than 1 point. Brad Marchand missed some time. Overall, I am content with the start to this season, although Tuukka Rask needs to do a little bit better. But if I remember right, at the beginning of last year, he was off to a kind of slow start, although maybe I'm thinking of Carey Price in the St. Louis series. I did want to look, though, at rookie scoring. Of course, we know Laine won it last year, but I want to see what rookies are in the lineups and have made the NHL this year. Sidney Crosby, 13 points in 10 games. Ovechkin with 12 and 9. Not too bad. Teravainen off to a great start for the Hurricanes as well. But rookie skaters, let's see. Gabriel Gagne for the Sens. Logan Brown for the Sens. Bjorkstrand still considered a rookie. Mantha still considered a rookie. So you have some guys in there who probably shouldn't be considered rookies, including Danton Heinen, although actually I believe it is truly his rookie year. We will see what he can do. Rookie goalies, anybody that could run away with it, not looking like it. Anton Bibeau has 3 starts, and Luukkonen, a 65 overall, has 3 starts for the Ducks. Okay, well, this game's just weird, isn't it? That'll do it for this one, though, guys. I hope you did enjoy. I'm intrigued to see what you think of the moves, particularly Riley Nash and Colin Miller. Like I said, I gave you fair warning. We weren't going to hold on to those rookies. It would have made things a little bit too unfair. I'm happy with where the team is at both the NHL and AHL level. It's just a matter of how we will do this season, and we will find that out starting in the next episode. But until then, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button to help support me and my channel. Subscribe if you haven't already to continue following this series and others. And I will see you guys in the next one.